Cancer is the best thing that ever happened to my family. My name is Daniel Lee, and I work at UCLA, and I've been a doctor for 26 years now. I was born in Taiwan, and my dad, he actually immigrated to the United States when I was 1 year old. And then my mom and I came over about 2 years later when I was 3 years old. So the household I grew up in, first of all, we're an immigrant family. My mom, she's learning English. My dad knew English well enough to get by, but definitely an immigrant family. We lived in a lot of places that weren't a lot of Asians, specifically Taiwanese or Chinese people. One time, and I don't remember how old I was, but thinking, okay, if I die, what's going to happen to me? Is that it? I just go into oblivion? Or am I transported to another world, or what's going to happen? But what really sparked it for me for sure was there was a woman down the street, down the block from me, and she had a son that was younger than me, but she put on this, I would call it a weekly meeting called the Good News Club. And this Good News Club she hosted it for the neighborhood kids to come to her house. The kids would come learn about Jesus and about Christianity. And this, through the Good News Club, is how I became a Christian. As I was growing in my Christian faith, naturally, I started being concerned, of course, for my parents, because they're not Christians, and I started praying for them. And my father, he had some understanding of Christianity, and he knew about it because he actually was witness to when he was younger, growing up in Taiwan. And I remember one time he just said, hey, it's okay to have your faith, but just don't push that BS, and he didn't say BS, but don't push that kind of stuff on me. So the only thing I felt like I could do, and the best thing I could do, is just pray. And I would pray for them for a long time. I would get other people to pray for them. And I prayed for them for, I would say, approximately 25 years. And after 25 years, you're starting to lose hope that they would ever become Christians.
Oh, the mountains I have sculpted.
Around this time, my dad, he's starting to get some back pain. And he went to a doctor, and the doctor said, go to a physical therapist, work on your back. And I remember my dad talking to me about it. He goes, well, my son's a doctor. Maybe I should, fax him some of my test results. And he said, as he was leaving his doctor's office, his doctor's nurse said, oh, by the way, there's one more result we didn't give you yet. And that was the clinching result that was important for me to figure out what my dad had. My jaw drops to the floor, and I realized my dad has something really serious. So the very next day, I call up his primary care doctor, and I say, hey, I think my father may have this condition called multiple myeloma, which is a cancer of the bone marrow. You need to get him to an oncologist as soon as possible. That oncologist, that same day that saw him, did a bone marrow biopsy, and within a week, he was diagnosed with, sure enough, multiple myeloma, and it was late stage. If it weren't for that nurse that gave him that lab result at the last minute, right before he was about to leave, if it wasn't for me as a son being a doctor and picking it up in time and then calling his doctor up, things might have been missed and he might have actually died. So somehow he credits through this God for orchestrating how he was able to get diagnosed with his cancer in the nick of time to get treatment before it was too late.
I have placed with love the stars above and everything below, so you would know, so you would know.
Stand to Reason, I would say, has certainly been immeasurable for me in terms of my growth in Christ, my knowledge, my spiritual growth. When I became a Christian, I had a lot of questions about the Bible, about God. Stand to Reason for me was the most accessible to anybody, a brand new Christian, all the way to a high-ranking academic. Is just a great mentor for me without having to need a discipler by my side. And so that's definitely one of the reasons why I definitely enjoy giving to Stand to Reason. If I could rest in the truth of Christianity, the truth of the Bible, the truth of the Christian worldview, and the truth of the resurrection, to me, then I know all the things that happen have a reason and put in place. And I know that I can trust in God's sovereignty no matter what the situation is.
So you would know.